How would this winnow its way down to the average person? Basically, the answer to that is it probably wouldn't. Most of the time, this is the kind of thing that scholars write about and talk about.
New Creation Coaching asks, how much impact have the Dead Sea Scrolls had on word meaning like this? Have there been any significant numbers of changes in recent years, or is this somewhat a rarity?
Yeah, this is a good question because this article does show the value of the Dead Sea Scrolls for word meaning. You have the same wording in the Hebrew, but the context again suggests this turning or returning idea. And so for scholars who are aware of that, who spend a lot of time in the Dead Sea Scrolls, spend a lot of time reading the Hebrew of the Dead Sea Scrolls, whether it's sectarian literature, literature that they wrote about their own community or some other subject, or whether it's a copy of the Hebrew Bible or something else. For scholars who are really acquainted with that material, this would have influence. How would this winnow its way down to the average person? Basically, the answer to that is it probably wouldn't. Maybe if you were lucky, you'd find a note in a study Bible that says something like Dead Sea Scrolls say, and then have this other suggestion. But most of the time, this is the kind of thing that scholars write about and talk about. If you were writing a reference work, let's say you were part of a team to create a new lexicon, new Hebrew lexicon, and you were assigned this word. Well, one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to look at the Dead Sea Scrolls for where that word occurs, because that's the oldest material that we have in terms of the Hebrew Bible and just generally Second Temple Jewish stuff that comes to us in Hebrew. This is the oldest material that we have. So in a work like that, it would be very influential.
Yeah, actually, for the average Christian, I have seen that some know about the existence of the Dead Sea Scrolls, but there is some kind of veil of mystery over them.
It's the History Channel. Jesus is married to Mary Magdalene or something like that, something stupid.
Or sometimes they use the Dead Sea Scrolls as an argument. For example, I have seen articles about the reliability of the Hebrew text, and they say like the Dead Sea Scrolls show that they are practically identical to the Masoretic text. And that's not true.
It depends what you mean by identical.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not in Jeremiah.
Does it matter if it's a lamed preposition or the preposition el? There's really no meaning, there's no semantic difference, but it's a different word. So it would count as a difference, but you don't lose anything.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is that they say the Dead Sea Scrolls confirm this argument that I have, but that's not really true. But anyway, there is some veil of mystery around them, so people use them like a trumping card for some debate or something.
Believe it or not, the Dead Sea Scrolls, you can buy databases of them. You can find the occurrence of every word in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I mean, a lot of the scrolls are fragmentary, so some of the entries, some of the instances are going to be guesses. Like if half the word's gone, in context, this is probably the word, and so that'll make it into the database under that head word, that lemma. But all that work's been done, and you can get commercially. Logos has this kind of stuff. There are other tools that scholars use for concordances for Dead Sea Scrolls, but all that work has now been done and scholars benefit from it.